It's one of those finishes I've always wanted to do, just never got around to doing it. It's called a sunset fade, and I actually tested this out slightly. It's going to be using a black base, and then I'm going to come back with Angelus turquoise and rose and light rose. And I played with this. I am a huge fan of sunsets. My dad has taken us to hundreds of sunsets over the years, and I guess this is a tribute to him. Maybe I'll even give him this guitar. Essentially what this is a highly figured top from Kibble Hardwoods. The body's been all set up and sanded. It's been sanded to 220. I've actually got two different types of wood on here. This is a quilted maple from Kimball from the West Coast. This is a Eastern hard rock hard maple back with a custom control cover that I cut out. The center is a pine center, and I realized some of the pains of working with pine sort of chipped out here and there a little bit. Now I know why eventually Leo Fender stopped working with it. It also had a whole bunch of cracks on the back side here that I had to fill and actually put a plug in. After I cut it, the wood split, and it was just sort of a pain. But with this sunset fade, what I'm going to do is put a black dye down first, a thinned black dye, because sunsets are sort of have a little bit of gray. Those clouds, if there's a bunch of clouds, they turn into sort of a grayish look, and I couldn't go full black because it's going to look terrible. So what I did is I tried thinning black, and I tried half and half. I tried a third black and 2/3 neutral from Angelus, and that seemed to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the half black on the top and then move to a darker black going down on both sides. And then what we're going to do is going to come back and sort of follow the figure lines with either turquoise or pink and try to get that sort of stepped sunset fade, and as you get further away it gets darker. I'm going to see if this works. I've already got my thinned Angelus dye black here. Let it sit for a little bit. It's probably still a bit too thick, but we're going to sand off a lot of this anyway. I don't like using gray, so I'm going to go with black. We're going to apply this first. This is a beautiful piece of wood, really outstanding. I glued these plates on with hide glue as well. If I went with a straight black on this, I don't think I would have ever gotten it to the gray that I was looking for. So we're going to do a lighter black on top and a darker black on the bottom. So we'll put the light black on first. I have a very slight arm curve here, just barely. I've got a nicer curve on the back. You guys keep asking me to do a different body style, and I've got a neck to match this, so let's roll with it. Now the pine is going to soak up the black pretty good. No matter what I do, probably the sides will stay black just because pine sucks up so much wood or so much dye. Now what we'll do is we'll come back and add a little bit more black down here. We're going to do that simply by adding a little bit more black to the color, to the clear. Makes it more of like half and half. Not an exact science. So we'll do that. We'll get a clean rag and fade that up slightly. And actually I want it a little bit darker, so we're gonna go just with pure black on the rag. I think that's it, and we'll do the same thing on the back here. Just go with the pure black. Alright, so we sanded a lot of the black off and we've got a slight fade from lighter to darker. Got my black just in case I need it. I'm going to use thin light rose and thin turquoise. I want to mute the colors at first just in case it doesn't look right, and if I need to sand this out again, I want to make sure that I don't have too much color in. I've kind of got two layers of clouds, at least from what I see in my head. There's a layer here on this section of quilt, and then there's the main section here running down. And so what I want to do is I want to get sort of blue, pink, blue, pink, blue, pink, blue, pink inside the quilt lines, and then have the black as sort of the back side of the clouds. I think that's going to work. So when you buy the Angelus dies, they give you these swabs, and I'm thinking that this might be actually perfect to get the colors exactly where I want. We're going to start with the thinned light rose first, and then we'll come back with the blue. So like I said, we'll come in and try and get this in the quilt. I know I'm going to have to wash a lot of this out. But this is the moment of truth, right? So we'll put this inside the quilt lines, pick up a little bit of black, which I'm going to be careful, so I turn this on the top, and just as I'm going down, it picks up the colors. It doesn't pick up the black. It's not an exact science. It's more playtime. Now we'll come back with the thinned turquoise, and we'll go in between the lines. Still think we'll probably end up sanding some of this out. What I'll probably do is wash some of the black out. The red and the blue are turning to purple, which I don't mind, because that'll kind of turn into the gray. It's just getting the colors right. And what's nice about these applicators, there's a lot of dye on here, so I know, guys, it looks messy. You don't have to say that out loud. So it's definitely way darker than I would have thought. What we'll do is come back now to re-highlight some of these spots. Especially the spots where it's still kind of grayish. It's way unique. What I want to do next, let's go back and cover some of these up. This definitely looks more like a ocean than it does a sunset. See, the black in the rose is not reacting great. It's a little splotchy down here. It's way messy. I know. We're going to come and wash it a little bit with some neutral. That should help. It does. It's actually exactly the effect I was going for, because that sort of fades in nicely. Do not like that that is overly rose compared to that side. Fix that. So we'll get some turquoise in here. Probably we'll just have to do this. Clean it up that way. I still think there's too much black up here, and I don't think there's enough black down here. So what I'm going to do is take the black, and this is the thicker black. A little worried about adding this. It's alright. So just help darken it up slightly. Again, we'll wash that out. Get rid of any streaks. Let me pull a little bit of that black up here. Still a little messy. Certain spots. It's turning to purple. Just less than ideal. What I think I have to do is I have to go back after washing this and just highlight. So where I let the color sit too long, it's a tad splotchy, or it leaves sort of a mark. It's getting more complicated the more colors I add, which is a problem. So that means just wash it and leave it. like so. So we're actually not bad. I really like this look up here. The black makes it muddy. What I think I'm gonna do is just leave this side, come back with the steel wool, and I don't know if I'll do anything to it. We'll let it sit. We'll move to the back side. I know the back side is gonna be significantly splotchier. The Eastern Hard Rock Maple can be a mess at times. We're going to put 3 coats of velvet oil on here. I've got a video on my channel with a review of velvet oil. You put it on real thick the first coat, let it sit for about a half hour, wipe it off, then let it dry for a few days and do that again. Didn't use the sanding sealer trick here, wanted the colors to move a little bit, but we'll go back in video here and give you a full review. So here is the completed Sunset Fade. My own custom color. Came up with this myself from all the sunsets I've seen over those years. This is 3 coats of velvet oil. I didn't want to put a gloss on it. I just didn't think that would look all that great. So it's got a nice satin finish. Really interesting color. I did not like the way it came out on the backside, which is why I sanded it a little bit more. The hard lines I was not happy with. I love the feel of the velvet oil. Really, it's my new satin finish product for right now. Even the back and the sides came out really cool in sanding with the velvet oil. Just a really neat effect. And even the spacer I put in to take out the cracks has just a really cool look. So Miami Burst, Sunset Fade, custom color again, black going up, much heavier black down here, and then the Angelus Light Rose and Turquoise, and this really has a neat effect. It is one of the better colors I have seen. Again, this is a Kimball Hardwoods top, beautiful top. I'm going to throw a Brazilian ebony neck on here. This is a Warmoth neck I've been sitting on for a while. This will come out really cool. I don't need a finish on it. We'll put some, I think, gold hardware on here. I'm not 100% sure. This neck throws me off now that I'm looking at it. Brown and gold usually don't mix well, but we will figure that out when we assemble this. If you guys like my channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. It'll help me out here on YouTube. So thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video.